All right, let's talk about something we all use, probably without even thinking about it, the elevator. It seems like just a simple box that goes up and down, right? But behind those sliding doors is an incredible piece of engineering with a surprisingly complex story. So let's get into it. This quote really nails it. Calling the elevator the vital vein of modern life is just perfect. Think about it. It's not just a machine. It's the circulatory system for our cities. Without elevators, there would be no skyscrapers. They are the hidden engines pumping people and products through the very buildings that define our modern world. So, how do these things actually work? Well, it might seem super complicated, but pretty much every elevator you'll ever ride works on one of two really simple principles. It all just boils down to pushing versus pulling. Okay, so here are our two big ideas, pulling and pushing. First, you got traction elevators. These are the pullers. They use heavy-duty steel cables wrapped around a pulley, kind of like a giant fishing reel. But the really clever part is the counterweight. It weighs about as much as the elevator car when it's half full, so the motor doesn't have to work nearly as hard. It just lifts the difference, which saves a ton of energy. That's why they're perfect for soaring skyscrapers. On the other hand, you have hydraulic elevators. These are the pushers. They use a powerful piston pushed up by fluid from below to lift the car. It's a much simpler system, which makes it great for shorter buildings, like a 5-story office park. So now we know the basics of how they move, but the design of an elevator changes like a lot, depending on what it's for. Elevators are actually highly specialized tools, and you find them doing all sorts of jobs you might not expect. Yeah, it's not just one size fits all. There's this whole family of elevators out there. Each one is engineered for a very specific purpose. From the smooth, quiet ride you expect in a hotel, to the raw muscle of a freight elevator, to the life or death precision of one in a hospital. They are way more diverse than you'd think. Let's look at the two you probably see most often. A passenger elevator in an office building. It's all about comfort, right? A smooth, fast, quiet ride is the goal. But a freight elevator in a warehouse, that's a whole different beast. It's a pure workhorse. It's built for brute strength and durability, designed to haul tons of cargo and take a beating day in and day out. And here's where you really see how specialized they can get. A panoramic glass elevator in a shopping mall is all about the experience, the view. It's part of the architecture. But a hospital elevator, that has a mission-critical job. It's built bigger to fit a stretcher, and it has special controls for emergencies. One is designed for looks, the other is literally designed to help save lives. And this brings us to a really important point. Choosing an elevator isn't just some final detail an architect throws in. No way. It's a massive strategic decision right at the start of a building's design. The type of elevator you choose affects how the building works, how energy efficient it is, and even how much space is left for people to actually use. So how do they make that choice? Well, if you're building a skyscraper, it's got to be a traction system for that speed and efficiency. For a little 2-story building, a simple hydraulic lift is probably your best bet. But the real game changer these days is the MRL, which stands for machine roomless. Its motor is so compact, it fits right inside the elevator shaft itself. This is huge because it saves an entire room's worth of valuable real estate, making it perfect for those mid-rise buildings. And of course, we can't forget about elevators on a much smaller scale. Home elevators are becoming a thing, and they're not about speed or capacity, they're all about accessibility. They're what allows an elderly person or someone with mobility issues to stay in the home they love, even if it has multiple floors. Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how. But now let's look ahead, because this technology is not standing still. The whole elevator industry is going through this huge evolution, and it's all being driven by making them smarter, more sustainable, and safer. The future of getting from one floor to another really boils down to these 3 major trends: making elevators smarter, making them greener, and making them safer than they've ever been before. So first up, smart systems. The old days of just hitting a button and hoping for the best are kind of fading away. The newest elevators use intelligent software that actually manages the flow of people. They'll group passengers going to the same floors into the same car to cut down on stops. Some can even link up to an app on your phone so the elevator is already there waiting for you when you walk in the lobby. Next up is sustainability. Remember those machine room-less elevators? Well, many of them use these super advanced gearless motors that are way more energy efficient. These green elevators can slash a building's electricity use, which really helps reduce its overall environmental footprint. And finally, safety. Let's be clear, elevators are already incredibly safe, but new tech is taking it to a whole new level. We're talking about smart sensors that are constantly checking performance. There are remote platforms that let a technician see what's wrong from miles away. And the coolest part? Some systems use data to actually predict a problem before it happens, so maintenance can be scheduled before anything ever breaks down. So you see, the elevator is so much more than just a convenience. It's a true masterpiece of engineering that literally built our modern cities, and it just keeps getting better. It's a symbol of human ingenuity. So the next time those doors slide open and you step inside, maybe take a second and ask yourself, what am I really looking at here? Is it just a box? Or is it a symbol of progress?